learners, I am Shweta Patra. Welcome you all to our YouTube tutorial SNAPS Biology. So today in the first class of the first season, I will discuss some basic concept and fundamental parts of physiology with all of you. So let's start the physiological part. So in the first class, I will teach about you the plant physiology. So पहले जान लेते हैं कि physiology चीज है क्या. Physiology means what? So the physiology means either the functional aspects or the life activities. So physiology deals with, or physiology means what are the functions which occur inside an animal body or a plant body, or we may say what are the total life activities of a plant or animal that can occur throughout their life. So when it related to the plant, then it is called the plant physiology. Okay, then come to प्लांट फिजियोलॉजी में दो इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन क्या आता है. ये आप लोगों का कॉलेज एग्जाम में भी आ सकता है, आप लोगों का एंट्रेंस एग्जाम के लिए भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो द फर्स्ट टू क्वेश्चन आर द फादर ऑफ प्लांट फिजियोलॉजी एंड द फादर ऑफ इंडियन प्लांट फिजियोलॉजी. ओके, सो द फादर ऑफ प्लांट फिजियोलॉजी इज स्टीफन हेल्स. And the father of Indian plant physiology is J.C. Bose. Note down these 2 points. These are the main points of plant physiology. So plant physiology में दो question. First one is the father of plant physiology, that is Stephen Hales, and the other one is the father of Indian plant physiology, that is the J.C. Bose. So next. Plant physiology is a broad term. So the plant physiology is divided into mainly 3 parts. In the first part, the soil, water, plant relation is there. So in this section, we study about how the water is absorbed by the plants, how it transported throughout the plants, and how the ascent of sap, all this process we will discuss in the later. In the second part, the metabolism part is there. So metabolism means what? Metabolism means all the activities which are occur inside a living organism. The metabolism part is again divided into 2 types, that is the anabolism and the catabolism. Anabolism is also termed as constructive process. Why? Because in this section, 2 simple molecules combine to form a complex molecule. So the construction processes occur here. In the catabolism part, it is also called as destructive process. It is the reverse of the anabolism. Why? Because in this section, a complex molecule divided into 2 simpler molecules. Okay. Then come to the third part, that is the growth and development part. So after the metabolism, the growth of the plant occur. Growth can be also identified as the quantitative change in a plant. How the plant quantitatively change. But the development in plant occur by both the quantitative and the qualitative change. Okay. So next, we will study about the different type of plant-water relation, the different type of plant-water relation. Okay. So in this part, we will study about the diffusion process. Second one is the osmosis process. And the third one is the plasmolysis process. Okay. So before going to any of these processes, we should know about 4 terms. Okay, so the first term is solute, the second one is the solvent, the third one is the solution, and the fourth one is the concentration. So let's discuss what are the 4 points. First one is the solute. Solute means what? Any particles that can be dissolved in a liquid medium is termed as solute. What do you mean by solvent? Solvent is nothing but the liquid medium. We consider as a water as a solvent. So what is solution? Solution are the combination of both the two, both the solvent and the solute combined to form a solution. And then come to the concentration part. Concentration are nothing but the amount of solute in a solution. Okay. So when the concentration of the solution increase, what that determine? The concentration of the solute increase. Okay. When the concentration of the solute increases in a solution, then the concentration part of the solution is increases. Okay. So let's now come to all the 3 processes, that is diffusion, osmosis and plasmolysis. Note this point in your notebook. So now come to the diffusion, the first part of our discussion. What is diffusion? Diffusions are the general terms that are mainly used in biology, also in several chemistry part also. So diffusion, what is diffusion? We normally say in general terms that diffusion is the movement of water or movement of solution from a higher concentration to the lower concentration. जैसे कि आप लोग मान लीजिए एक एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं हम लोग, फिर उसमें क्या है, 1 glass of water is there is 1 glass of water and a condensed ink. Suppose condensed ink and 1 glass of water. Suppose this ink. Okay. So when I put a drop of ink in a glass of water, then the drop of ink will be dissolved equally in the glass of water, not in a single point. Suppose, see the diagram. If there is, these are the solutes of a ink. Okay. So it, in the glass of water, there is only, wait, I will use the black marker. See, there is, these are the glass of water, solvent. The black dots are the solvent molecules and the blue dots are the solute molecules. Okay, these are the solvent and this is the solute. So you see here that in the first case, the number of solute are large in amount. The number of solute is greater. So we called it as a higher concentration solution. In the lower case, the amount of solvent, the amount of water molecule are greater. So we called it as a lower concentration. We know that in diffusion process, the solution moves from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. This is the example of ink and this is the glass of water. So here the ink drops will move to the glass of water and dissolve equally throughout the solution. So this is the characteristic of diffusion. There are some more points are there. First point is, each of these solute particle, each of these blue dots solute particle have kinetic energy, which will help them to move from one region to the another, that is the higher to lower. The second point is that it always moves from higher concentration to the lower concentration. It is the main important part of diffusion, the main point. It always moves from higher to lower. Then the third point, what? Then the third point is each of these. Suppose here the blue dots are salt, okay, and the black dots are sugar. There are two solutes are there. One is the sugar and second one is the salt. So the molecule, the solute of salt and sugar are not dependent on each other. They are always independent. Independent. Okay. So if salt concentration is here, then from salt will be moved from here to there. If sugar concentration is greater here, then sugar will be move upward. Okay. Independent solutes. These are the main parts of the diffusion, main points of diffusion. So now discuss the factors. There are different factors which will affect the diffusion process. Okay, maybe they increase or maybe they decrease. So the factors. First one is the temperature. Okay. So what will temperature can affect the diffusion process? If the temperature increases, that it will increase the kinetic energy of the solute molecule. If kinetic energy will increase, then it increases the movement of the molecule. So temperature is directly related. To the movement of molecule. That is the diffusion process. Okay. Temperature increases the kinetic energy of the solute. Kinetic energy of the solute increases the movement. So directly temperature increases the diffusion process. Then second factor. Second factor is what? Concentration of the solute. I will discuss before that concentration, if the concentration of the solute increase, then obviously the diffusion process will be increased. Okay, these are also directly proportional. If the concentration increase, then the diffusion process will increase. Then come to the third, that is the pressure. Third factor is the pressure. Pressure means what? If in a part the pressure between the solute molecule increases, then they tend to move from the higher region to the lower region. So it also directly proportional to the diffusion process. Okay, there are 3 points. Then the fourth point is also there. So the fourth point is concentration. Mark here, concentration of medium. In the previous second point, I write concentration of the solute. But in fourth point, that is the concentration of the medium. Here it is reversely proportional. Okay. If the concentration of the medium will increase, then the diffusion process will be slow. Here it is inversely proportional. So these are all about the diffusion process, the factors which affect diffusion. There are all total 4 factors. Okay. So let's discuss the second part of our today's topic, that is osmosis. Okay. So the process of osmosis is quietly similar to the diffusion process. The process of osmosis is quietly similar to the diffusion process, but in here the osmosis process, a special kind of character is there. A special kind of character, that is the use of the semi-permeable membrane. Okay. And the rest of the process are quite similar. जैसे कि हम लोग बात कर रहे थे डिफ्यूजन के बारे में, तो डिफ्यूजन में होता क्या है? डिफ्यूजन में ये होता है कि the movement of the solution or the movement of both the solvent or the solute from a higher concentration to the lower concentration. As in case the osmosis also, the movement of the solvent from the higher to the lower concentration through the semi-permeable membrane. In this case, only the semi-permeable membrane is the special character of osmosis. Okay. So here is the diagrammatic representation of osmosis. This is the region A and this is the region B. In region A, these are the solute molecule. Okay. The blue dots are the solute molecule. And in here also, these are the solute. And the green dots are the solvent particle of the solvent of the solution. Okay. In the middle of two regions, I add the semi-permeable membrane. This is the semi-permeable membrane. Okay. So see, in the region of A, the particles of the solute particles are greater in number, whereas the solvent are low or less in number. Whereas in case of B, the solvent are greater in number and the solute particle are less in number. Okay. So in this case, the movement of solvent, that is from the B region to the A, the movement of solvent from a higher concentration, in this region there is a higher concentration of the solvent particle. So the movement occur from the region B to that of the region A. Okay, through the semi-permeable membrane. This is the process which explains osmosis. After that, I will discuss some of type of the membranes that are also used in living processes besides of the semi-permeable membrane. Okay, besides semi-permeable membrane, there are other three types of membrane. Here we say all total there are 4 types of membranes are present inside the living cell. Okay, the first one is the permeable membrane. The second one is the impermeable membrane. The third one is the semi-permeable membrane. And the fourth one is the selectively permeable membrane. Okay. So let's see the first case. In the permeable membrane, it allows both the solute and the solvent. Okay, it allows both the solute and solvent. Whereas in case of impermeable, the word "im" first tends that impermeable means it does not allow solute and solvent. Means what? Solvent cannot pass through the membrane, or solvent is also cannot pass through the membrane. But in case of semi-permeable membrane, it allows all the solvent but not the solute. Okay, solute इसमें पास नहीं कर सकता है, बट जो सॉल्वेंट मॉलिक्यूल होता है, जैसे कि हम लोग का वाटर जो रहता है वो क्या कर सकते हैं, वो पास कर सकता है. फिर फोर्थ टाइप इज selectively permeable membrane. The word is select is there, means what? It can pass the solvent but selected solute particles. Okay, solvent को वो पूरा पास कर लेगा, बट जो solute particle जो होता है उसमें से वो सिलेक्ट करके membrane के थ्रू पास कराएगा. See again, there are 4 types of membranes are there. First one is the permeable, then the impermeable, semi-permeable and the selectively permeable. In permeable, both solute and solvent can pass. In impermeable, both the solute and the solvent cannot pass through the membrane. In semi-permeable, solvent can pass but not the solute. In the fourth type, in selectively permeable membrane, solvent can pass but the membrane can allow only the selected solutes. Okay. So in the next, this is all about your osmosis. Okay. The osmosis, in case of osmosis, we will study and discuss about the how is osmosis occur, the osmosis process, the solvent molecule, the water molecule pass through the higher concentration to the lower concentration. So what are the importance that osmosis can give to the plant? The importance, what are the importance, or we may say significance? Okay. So in the first case, it helps in the absorption of water. Okay, through the roots. The water can absorb through the roots by the process of osmosis. In detail, we discuss in our later classes. And the second part is helps in the movement of water from one cell to the other. Suppose this is the cell number 1, this is the cell number 2. So osmosis helps in the movement of water. Water जो move होता है इसमें ये help करता है. ठीक है. In the third point, it helps in the opening and closing of stomata. Okay, in the stomata we will discuss in later in our transpiration part. So osmosis helps in the opening and closing of stomata. और एक भी कैसे से the fourth point is that it causes the turgidity of the cell. Okay, turgidity means swell off. Okay, so osmosis are fourth importance are in plants. That is the first in the absorption of water, second is the movement of water, third one is the opening and closing of stomata, fourth one is the causes of turgidity. So let's now discuss the different types of osmosis. Okay, these are all about the osmosis process and the significance of osmosis. Now discuss types of osmosis. Next part is the types of osmosis. Okay. Before going to the types of osmosis, we must know about the different types of solution. Okay. पहले भी कह चुकी हूँ कि solution means what? Solute plus solvent. Okay. So there are different types of solution. There are mainly 3 types of solution are there. Isotonic solution, hypotonic solution, then hypertonic solution. Mark the difference. This is the hypo, this is the hypertonic solution. So first understood what is isotonic solution. Okay. So isotonic solution is what? Let's consider this is the outer medium. Here inside the medium a cell shaft. This is the cell shaft. Cell inside the cell. This is the cell shaft. Okay. So here what happened? Here is the solvent and solute, and here is the solvent and solute. This is one solution. This is the second type of solution. Here in case the amount of solute and solvent inside the cell and the amount of solvent and solute outside the cell is equal in concentration. जैसे कि मैं यहाँ पर 50 लिख देती हूँ. ठीक है. 50 and 50. 50 solute है, 50 solvent है. Here in case also 50 is the solute and 50% is the solvent. So both the cases are same. So there is no movement. See here, inside. Here I write inside is equal to outside. Cell shaft is equal to the outer medium. Okay. So the word iso is there. Iso means same. Iso means same. So here the concentration of inside the cell and the concentration of outside the membrane, outside the medium is also same. So this is the isotonic solution. Okay. So next one is the hypotonic solution. Next one is the, here see, hypotonic solution. In this case, the same diagram. This is the outer medium. Inside this, there is a cell. It is the cell sap. Okay. This is the outer medium. Here in case what happened? The solvent. The solvent part, suppose 90% of solvent is there. Solvent only, because we discuss here the osmosis part. So only we study about the solvent, the movement of solvent. Here is the 90% of solvent is there. In this there is 20% of solvent. Okay. So the movement of solvent is also higher to lower. So in this case there is the movement to inward, from the outer side to the inner side or the cell sap. So if there is large amount of solvent is flows to the inward, then what happens? The cell sap increase in size. It swell up if water molecule move into the cell from the outside. So what happens? It increases in size. It swells up. Okay. Then it causes, it results in the turgidity of the cell. In the significance part, I told you that osmosis result in the turgidity of the cell. So it is in case of hypotonic solution. It causes the turgidity of the cell, which result in the end osmosis. End osmosis. Okay. This is one type of osmosis. Here I write the types of osmosis. It is the first type of osmosis, that is end osmosis. Okay. So in end osmosis case, it occurs in the hypotonic solution, in which the movement of solvent is also from the outer region to the inner region. Why? Because the solvent, the concentration of solvent is always higher in the outer region than the cell sap. Okay. This is the second type of solution, and end osmosis. This is the first type of the osmosis. Then come to the third type of solution. Then come to the third type of solution, that is the hypertonic solution. Okay. So let's see the diagram. This is the outer medium. This is the inside the cell. This is the cell sap. Here in this case, the concentration of, we study about the solvent. We study about the solvent concentration. Here, the concentration of solvent is higher. Suppose in this region, there is 80% of concentration of solvent. And the outer medium, there is 50% of concentration of solvent. So as usual, I told earlier, that is, the solvent always move from the higher concentration towards the lower concentration. So here in this case, the water flows to the outside of the cell. Okay, water flows to the outside of the cell. So what result? The cell. This is the size of the cell. The cell size is smaller. Okay. First, in the first case, the cell size is larger, then it shrink. There is the shrinkage of the cell. Okay. Due to the movement of water from the inside to the outer side, there is the shrinkage. The word shrinkage. There is the shrinkage of the cell, which result in the X-osmosis process. X-osmosis is the second type of osmosis. Okay. So Again I tell that is in hypertonic solution, the movement of the water occur inside from inside towards the outer side. Okay, so it results in the shrinkage of the cell, which process we called it as the exosmosis. Okay, so ultimately the hypertonic solution, that is the exosmosis, result in the flaccidity of the cell. Okay, so ये जो हम लोग अभी डिस्कस करें, दो तरीके के हम लोग का होता है ऑस्मोसिस, दैट इज द एक्स ऑस्मोसिस एंड द सेकंड वन इज द एंड ऑस्मोसिस. ये दोनों के और एक मजेदार हम लोग एग्जाम्पल देखेंगे. ओके, सो ये दोनों के एग्जाम्पल के लिए हम लोग को जाना पड़ेगा सब्जी मंडी. जाना, लेकिन फोन पकड़ के जाना सब्जी मंडी, फोन को छोड़ के नहीं जाना है. ठीक है, तो हम लोग चलते हैं सब्जी मंडी. वहां पर क्या होता है, वहां पर जो वेंडर्स लोग होते हैं वो क्या करते हैं, सब्जी के ऊपर ऐसे पानी छिड़कते रहते हैं. फिर उसके बाद क्या होता है, हम लोग को ताजी ताजी सब्जी हम लोग खरीद पाते हैं मार्केट से. तो वो लोग ऐसे क्यों करते हैं, क्योंकि ड्यू टू द हाई टेम्परेचर ऑफ द एनवायरमेंट के जो हाई टेम्परेचर होता है उसमें से क्या होता है, वो जो जितने भी हम लोग का है वेजिटेबल्स हम लोग ले लिए, जैसे कि लेडीज फिंगर हो गया, बैंगन हो गया, और जैसे कैबेज हो गया, कलीफ्लावर, जितने भी वेजिटेबल्स है उनमें से क्या होता है, उनके जो पील है वो उसमें रिंकल्स आ जाता है. वो रिंकल्स क्यों होता है, ड्यू टू द प्रोसेस ऑफ एक्स ऑस्मोसिस. ओके, गॉट इट. तो एक्स ऑस्मोसिस की वजह से वो लोग क्या होते हैं, सूखा पड़ जाता है उनके अंदर, वो जो पील्स है उसमें रिंकल्स आ जाता है. फिर उनको ताजी कैसे हम लोग करेंगे, उसमें हम लोग वाटर छिटकते हैं. फिर पानी छिटकने से क्या होता है, एंड ऑस्मोसिस प्रोसेस होता है. द वाटर मूव्स इनसाइड टू द वेजिटेबल सो दैट द वेजिटेबल्स लुक लाइक फ्रेशली pulled vegetables. Okay, so this is the example, this is the daily life example which is under the two process of osmosis, that is the exosmosis and the end osmosis. Besides these two types of osmosis, besides the two type of osmosis, there is another type of osmosis, that is the reverse osmosis. Okay, so the word reverse is there, means what, that is the movement from the low concentration towards the higher concentration. Okay, low concentration of solvent towards the higher concentration of solvent, and this process is mainly used in our salt extraction process. This is a very important question for the entrance exam and the university exams. The reverse osmosis process used in the salt extraction process. So let's discuss another type of process. Okay, so that is plasmolysis. So what is plasmolysis and how it occurs? See, plasmolysis is the shrinkage of the cell protoplasm, okay, from the cell wall under the influence of hypertonic solution by the process of X osmosis. Okay, so plasmolysis is nothing but the shrinkage of the cell protoplasm from the cell wall under the influence of hypertonic solution by the process of X osmosis. So there is two types of plasmolysis process. There are two types. Okay, first one is the incipient plasmolysis and second one is the evident plasmolysis. Okay, there are two types of plasmolysis are there. First one is the incipient, second one is the evident plasmolysis. Let's discuss the diagrammatic representation. Okay, so here I draw the diagram. This is the cell wall. This is the cell membrane. This is the nucleus. This is the vacuole. This is the cytoplasm. Okay. So this is a on-plasmolized cell protoplasm. So when the on-plasmolized cell is kept in a hypertonic solution, then what happens? See the diagram. See, this is the cell wall, this is the cell membrane, this is the nucleus, okay, this is the vacuole, and these are the cytoplasm region. So it is the first stage, okay. So here the process of plasmolysis start to begin, and this stage is known as incipient plasmolysis stage, okay. After that the second stage will come here. This is the nucleus, this is the vacuolar part, but here the cell protoplasm start to begin a spherical in shape, okay. This is the intermediate stage. About the last stage is that this is the evident plasmolyzed stage, in which the cell protoplasm is totally covered into a spherical shape, and here we told that it is totally a plasmolyzed cell. So the process of plasmolysis have various significance in our living organisms, or we may say in plants. The first one is it determine the living nature of the cell. The second point is it determine the permeability of the cell wall, and the third one is it determine the semi-permeable nature of the plasma membrane. Okay, so this is all about today's class. Today we discussed about the diffusion, the significance of diffusion, what is osmosis, what is the types of osmosis, the significance of osmosis, and the solution and plasmolysis. If you all want a note or PDF of this topic, then go to the comment box and do the comment. We will provide our best to you. Okay. So like, share and subscribe our SNAPS Biology channel, and please press the bell icon so that you get more updates and notification.